Jayden Daniels could be the second quarterback taken in this year's draft. That is, if his horrific body parts could stop freaking people out. The 49ers accounting could use some interns. They've been some naughty little bean counters, and the league just wrapped them on the knuckles. Plus, Commanders owner Josh Harris is not someone to F with. And we show some of the more interesting bits from Week 1 in the UFL. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin. And if you've got the time and the kindness in your heart, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell to stay notified, and click the like button below. I never much paid attention to that kind of stuff before I had a channel, but it turns out it's actually pretty important to content makers. So thank you in advance. And now, it's time for Barely News. Last week was the inaugural start to the new UFL season, and it had some pretty great moments if you're a fan of football and chaos. A punter threw a 40-yard touchdown pass to an offensive lineman. Was that the plan? Maybe. They said he didn't run the right route, and they never completed the pass in practice, but screw it, the center's down there somewhere. And then there was Michigan Panthers kicker Jake Bates.
His first kick since high school.
They tried to ice him on a 64-yard field goal, and he made it twice. It was the game winner in the final seconds. The only ice was coursing through his veins. However, it wasn't all great. Tight end Jay Sternberger took to Twitter about some dirty hits, something Kurt Benkert chimed in on, saying there aren't any fines for that kind of play in the UFL. In fact, DC defender Gene DeLance was ejected after he spit on a guy, which isn't funny, but watching the UFL officials try to regulate it in real time?
59 spitting on a defensive player, and I'm going to eject him.
See if you can get a shot here. They're
59.
saying he spit at him, and they're going to eject him.
I've got 59 spitting on the defensive.
I mean, he's got 59 spitting at
him. They can have a
flagrant personal foul, number 59.
Generally, I thought the games were pretty good. The announcing could use a little juice, and it was sad to see the empty seats behind the field goal posts. They need to find a way to fill that out. My first thought was ventriloquist dummies and sex dolls, as that is typically my first thought for most things. But then I realized the opportunity. For $2, just $2, Rock, you can buy a certified UFL seat holder. The UFL prints out a picture of your face and sits it in the stands right behind the uprights. This is not an original idea. The NFL did something like this during COVID. The beauty is, the first dollar goes to the UFL, but the second goes to charity. Come on, UFL! I am giving you this idea for free. Since becoming the Chargers' new head coach, Jim Harbaugh has been living in an RV.
I want to drive my RV out and go to a trailer park, like down by the water.
You're living in a van down by the river!
He said he's 100 feet away from offensive coordinator Greg Roman, who has an RV of his own and a coffee ring around his mouth. Harbaugh said it was a lifelong dream to live in an RV, which I get. My dreams are stupid too. Or maybe I just haven't met the right RV yet. Unfortunately, the fantasy is over. Harbaugh's family is joining him from Michigan. But even so, I bet he keeps it for when he just needs a break.
This is my own private domicile and I will not be harassed, bitch!
What is up with LSU quarterback Jayden Daniels' elbow? If you haven't seen the photo by now, I will warn you, it is fucking weird. Look at it! Look what the internet has brought you! This is not an AI or a Photoshop fail. This has been 100% authenticated, a real image from a game. It looks like a G.I. Joe arm. It looks like a new arm is hatching out of an old one like some kind of football cicada. So there's a couple of things going on here. First, nightmares unbeknownst to me bursting forth to cause new undue traumas. And second, it's bursitis of the elbow. Apparently, our elbows have a sac. Go on. If you get a boo-boo on your elbow, that sac can inflame and fill with fluid. And not with sweet beer or delicious man-made nectars, but disgusting body fluids. The last element here was, it was just a bad angle for the photo. Daniels is fine now. He had his sac drained. I mean, bursa aspirated. Did Jets owner Woody Johnson get into a heated argument with Coach Saleh? At this point, I'm not really sure anyone actually knows.
According to Colleen Wolfe,
from a very reliable source,
Ooh.
at the owners' meetings, there was a very heated conversation between Woody and Robert Saleh, to the point where it was a little awkward.
Spicy.
What were they arguing about?
Johnson, seen here at his weekly Fight Club for Seniors, disputed the argument, stating, "All this nonsense about a heated argument between Coach Saleh," that's my Woody voice, "is absolutely false. It is yet another irresponsible report from the NFL Network." The guy named after a woodpecker is right. I'm tired of the NFL Network's irresponsible journalism. This is the second worst reporting job they've ever done. This is not news to me. I already assume the entire Jets organization is one missed Bagels Day away from Lord of the Flies. They're held together with the same scotch tape they used on Aaron Rodgers' ankle or a Boeing 737 door plug. Wolf has since apologized to the Jets for the unnecessary distraction. Now the Jets can focus on the one they paid $75 million.
So, what was that about?
New owner Josh Harris was recently asked about the report card from the NFL Players Association, where the Commanders got an F-.
Yeah, I'm not an F- guy, so I didn't even know you could get an F-.
As far as old white guys go, he's like a solid B. Not an F- guy is a pretty good quote. One that news outlets realized quickly they needed to double down on in their headlines. I'm not an F- guy. You could have just removed the symbol, but not the word minus. Otherwise, it looks like Josh Harris said he's not a fuck guy, which I guess is what a fuckboy grows up to be, owner of the Washington Commanders. To be fair, the grade came right after the transfer of ownership. He inherited a shit show from previous owner Dan Snyder. You can't just walk into a crime scene with a scented candle and expect people to golf clap for you. Harris wants to upgrade multiple areas for the team, but acknowledged that not all of them will come quickly. So, Jackson County, Missouri residents voted down the sales tax that would have helped pay for the Chiefs' $800 million renovation at Arrowhead. Oops. I did not see that coming. This even after the team president, Mark Donovan, threatened to leave Kansas City if that happened. This caused thirsty Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson to tweet this: "Kansas City has hosted the Chiefs since 1963, but prior to that, they were the Dallas Texans for 4 years. And little known fact, for 2 weeks prior to that, they were known as the Shuffle City Cram Snatchers, but they were forced to relocate after a disturbing pickle scandal involving then-Mayor Wiffle Van Pippenbottom." Johnson has said before he thinks the Dallas market is big enough to handle 2 NFL teams.
I tell you what I do, man.
2 teams at the same time. It's pretty unlikely that the Chiefs are gonna move, and generally when teams do, they're forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to the rest of the league. Plus, I think if they moved to Dallas, Jerry Jones would shit a fully formed oil derrick. Also, to be clear, the Chiefs' sales tax is already in place through 2031. This vote was to extend it until 2064, which is so far in the future there might not even be a Kansas City. We'll all be living on the moon thanks to Amazon shipping. The Chiefs will be playing in Arrowhead until at least 2031. The NFL is a vengeful god. They've stripped the San Francisco 49ers of their 2025 5th-round pick and moved their 4th-round pick down as punishment. What did they do? Accidentally overpaid a guy by $75,000. Niners GM John Lynch said it was a simple clerical error, and that was back in the COVID era. Ah yes, who can remember all the way back to recently? What's weird is, this reportedly didn't take them over the salary cap, so I'm not really sure why they're being punished. $75,000 is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's like a whole graphic designer. Lynch wouldn't name the player, but did say he didn't get the money back. And if that's the case, I say, teach him Photoshop and have him do some work for you. I don't care if it's Nick freaking Bosa, I expect JPEGs in my inbox. Lynch admitted the mistake to the league and said, "You take your medicine and move on." Great, now they gotta take medicine too. And that is barely news. Thank you so much for watching Shut Up Football. Please leave your comments below, say hi to your mom for me, and we'll catch you next time. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.